$10 per incident. So I did it once.
This is like a family show, kid friendly.
I'm gonna try my hardest.
No, I only had a half a glass of wine.
I've had 2. Whatever.
Anyway, so we're gonna talk about cool.
By the way, Bill Storage, are you this? Okay, so we've started this show and we just hit broadcast. Bill, are you there?
I'm here. I'm having video trouble today.
Oh well, that's cool. You don't have any supermodels in your kitchen today, do you?
Not this minute. No. Okay. I do, by the way, have a one machine here that runs Windows 8.
Yeah, I give mine to Rocky because I just wasn't using it. But you're a Windows programmer. So Bill and I go way back before blogging, before anybody. Can you close that window, by the way?
Yeah.
Just so we get the noise cut down. Bill and I have known each other for, I don't know, since 92, 93, something like that.
20 years or so, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. He's one of the best Visual Basic programmers in the world, and now he doesn't do that anymore, but that was back in 93. So what have you been doing lately, Bill?
I've been writing iPhone apps and iPad apps mainly, but I also took a look at the Windows 8 development and had to have a Windows 8 machine to do that.
What do you think?
Well, I don't think all that much of the. I mean, it doesn't much matter the OS to me.
That matches. By the way, that's the standard response. From every developer.
Let me say something very positive about Microsoft. Visual Studio 12, the tool that you use to write Windows 8 apps, is impressive as hell.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful piece of work.
I heard that it's pretty nice and it's easy, very easy to create apps that work on small screen, big screen, medium screens, and all that. Does that match your experience?
Yeah, that matches my experience, and it is. It's as easy to write those apps, maybe easier than writing iPhone apps.
So this is the third show I've done today. I was on Gilmore Gang this morning, and then Jason Calacanis, and we were talking about this, and I said, name one person who spends nights and weekends building Windows 8 apps, and I'll be interested. You know, I just took a tour through Facebook, and when the camera's off, I ask them, what are you really doing at nights and weekends? Because that's when you talk to a developer, that's where the love is, and that's where the really interesting, innovative new stuff is going to come from. What would you say?
Oh, I agree 100%. The main reason I was taking a look at it is I'm still thinking there is a possibility that when Enterprise finally decides to do mobile, that may, a lot of that may end up on Windows devices.
The problem is with Enterprise that many of the companies now are not just buying iOS devices. Honeywell, for instance, which is a defense contractor, a very conservative company, is buying iPhones for everybody. So is Procter & Gamble. So is General Electric. So is Comcast. So is and on and on. But the other ones, like Rackspace, has a bring your own device to work policy. In other words, you go buy whatever device you want, and then they pay for it or subsidize it. And I don't see with both of those trends, I don't see Windows 8 doing very well in the enterprise. What do you think?
I think you're probably right, and that's why I spend the vast majority of the time that I spend writing iOS apps. But the healthcare and pharmaceutical worlds, which there is a lot of in our area, are still, to my knowledge, 100% Windows.
But when you say Windows, are they Windows 7? Have they standardized around that? Or are they going to go Windows 8? Because most of the enterprises I've seen who are Windows are just like, we're staying with Windows 7 and we're not allowing Windows 8 to be deployed. And when we're forced to deploy Windows 8, in 2 years, we're going to reevaluate that policy. But right now, we're going to stay with Windows 7. Is that what you're seeing?
That's exactly what I'm seeing, yeah.
So all of that added up together means that developers are like, whatever, we're not going to build Windows 8 apps, which causes the cycle to get worse for Microsoft.
Well, okay, here is one reason that a few developers I know are messing around with it. A lot of people use the Xamarin Monodroid tools.
Yep.
Which, those allow you to write to a variety of platforms using C#, which is a very popular language. It's like Java with a lot of better and more modern features. So the Mono framework, last I heard, is moving very rapidly to bring the C# 5.0 features into their product. So a lot of people are playing with Windows development right now just to get some experience with the async provisions of C# 5.0. It's not a trivial transition.
Which explains why Rackspace, by the way, has a Windows 8 app for building cloud computing infrastructure, so that they support all that. But anyways, thanks.
Fascinating. You know, I'm gonna read more about that as I go to sleep tonight.
Well, there's a lot of geeks here. Come on, man. There's a lot of geeks. This is the start of a.
That's gonna put them to sleep, for God's sake. Let's do a special segment on that. You two can go off and talk. Okay? That's great. It's a really entertaining thing. And he's the Victoria's Secret dude?
No, he's had Victoria's Secret supermodels in his house.
Geeks rule. Geeks rule.
This is how you
Geeks rule.
This is how you rule the world.
I
right?
love that.
If you become one of the best programmers in the world, that's what happens to you.
Yes.
So Sam, what's your history? You started one of these Mac user groups back in the 80s.
Stanford Mac Users Group, the same time that Berkeley BMAP.
By the way, if you're not talking, can you mute your microphone so we don't hear you typing and all that?
Or the kids.
No problem.
Or the kids that are running around.
I do it bad too. So.
Sorry.
So anyway, I did that and then I worked with a bunch of startups in the late 80s. One of them was started alongside of Claris. You know, Apple founded a lot of these companies. I don't know if people know Apple also was a big investor with AOL early on.
Yep.
And I worked with a company called Connect, and that was kind of a business version of AOL. I don't know what happened to it, but and then went off and worked with Heidi Roizen at TeamMaker. Yeah. Remember Heidi? Well, she's
now an investor.
She has been for years, and Virgin Interactive Entertainment in mobile gaming. I'm a gamer by trait. Now I'm a.
I really know you because you're a gadget freak. You have more gadgets in your house than Walt Mossberg, which explains.
So I'm on App Minute. I co-founded App Minute, and that's part of the MyMac family. It's everything about apps. So I'm involved in the media side, and I really practice what I preach. I use any kind of mobile device you can imagine. So I'll try any kind of cool interactive toy.
But you're a little Apple focused. You were hanging out with Apple PR people today, so don't tell me you're not.
I was, but I mean, I use the products that I think work the best. But hey, in the next week, we're going to get the new Vizio all-in-one.
We got the Nexus 7 here.
The Nexus, we're going to get the Vizio all-in-one.
Well, what's that?
What is that?
Kingston Y drive.
Yeah, what is that?
Is that the wireless drive?
Yeah, it's a wireless SSD, 128 gigs.
Wow. Whoa.
So you can basically like double or quadruple or triple the capacity of your iPad, your Android tablet.
I won't tell you, Seagate was here today, and I can't tell you what they showed me.
Yeah.
But it's better than that.
Well, we can talk a little bit about it, but we'll talk about that in a second. We're going to roll with one of Seagate's wireless hard drives on our trip. It's our Fear and Loathing Tech Tour trip to Vegas.
We're going to
I have one of those too.
Yeah,
we're going to the Consumer Electronics Show, and we got a Ford.
By the way,
C-Max.
Scott Monty, we got to give him a shout out. Scott Monty of Ford, he runs their digital marketing. He's the social guru at Ford.
And what kind of car do you own?
And we both have Priuses.
Yeah.
So Robert and I have Priuses. Scott hooked us up. We're gonna drive the brand new Ford Hybrid C-Max to Vegas from San Francisco, and we're gonna use it for 7 full days.
We just went to Las Vegas in my Prius.
Not Los Angeles.
Well, we drove in Vegas last year. We drove to Vegas also.
Right.
But we're gonna see what the miles per gallon is and all that.
Well, we know it's a little less. They say it's a little less, but it's got some cool new features. It's got sync technology.
Do you think we can pull it up to 120 miles an hour?
I don't know. I got a ticket last year. I got a ticket in his Prius.
I was actually talking to him about one.
How do you get a ticket in Prius?
It's easy.
Steve Wozniak almost got arrested because he was doing 110 miles an hour in his Prius.
In a new Prius, guys, it's a whole different ballgame than the older version. Anyway, let's rope this in about tech and stuff. I am infatuated with tech, gadgets, and celebrating technology.
So one other thing about Sam, he goes around. We just toured L.A. and we went to Oakley. We went to Harman, which makes JBL,
and Qualcomm,
and we went to Qualcomm, and he knows everybody. I mean, he gets his calls returned by Apple PR. I don't. So
okay, it's just about relationships. They don't know Robert like they know me. That's all. It's not a big deal. Anyway, you got to meet the president of Qualcomm. Anyway, so we brought a bunch of cool gear. Some of them actually from JBL, some that are iOS focused. Yep. This is brand new. Thank you, Kelly from Targus. This is for the Mini.
What is this?
It's the new Targus VersaView case.
And why is this cool?
Okay, now what's cool about this case, guys? All right. So it's a case, right? No big deal. I
have a brand new. I bought my own Mini, by the way.
All right.
The guy at the Apple Store recognized me. I said, "Bitch, I'm sorry. I buy
$10.
my own Apple equipment here." You know, and he goes,
okay. So it's a normal.
Katie Cotton doesn't give me free stuff.
It's a normal case, right? But what's cool is that it tilts and swivels.
Oh, sweet.
Isn't that cool?
So you can put it on the desk.
So it swivels.
And you can use a Bluetooth keyboard with that?
You could. I think that's really nice.
It has these ridges.
And
that's nice.
It's really well made, and they were the first ones to do this. It's called the VersaView.
How much is that?
And I don't even know.
All right, let's look at this.
What holds it?
It's got. Let me show it to you guys.
Yeah. And let me
see.
Let me log.
Oh, okay. It sits in like its own kind of holder.
It's really.
Also, it's like a plastic case inside of a leather case.
It is, and it's not leather. So for all of you people that are non-calf people, it's okay.
Leather.
It's really nice, and I gotta give a shout out to our friend Kelly Reeves for making this happen. She gives us cool Targus stuff. It's called the VersaView.
It's $64.
$64, and they make an iPad version as well. That's really nice.
Is there a Nexus 7 version, or?
Go onto the site. I don't think so.
I want an iPhone.
Nexus 7 does not have enough any accessories. It's kind of annoying.
Okay, well, I think it's cool. All right, so that's one of our toys.
It's nice because you can use it with a keyboard, and it does this on the desktop. It's nice.
And, well, you might as well show them.
It's pretty well designed with the rubber. It has these little rubber strips that stop the iPad.
Stop it, but you see how it tilts?
Does that work with the Nexus, or does that only work with the?
I don't think so. It's specifically for the Mini.
Try it.
Android devices.
You want to try it?
Let's try it with the Android.
All right, hold on. I have to get it out of its case.
I doubt it will because the Nexus is not as wide.
Oh.
And
it's specifically made for this.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Anyways, next.
Anyway, let's move on.
Give me that, and I'll play with that.
All right.
This is my iPad anyway. What are you trying to steal my iPad?
No. Let's see what else. Okay. Jeez.
I'd try to keep that if I were you.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, Kelly,
he's always trying to steal my stuff, and I always try to steal his stuff, so it's fair.
It doesn't matter. We picked this up at the Apple Company store today. So this is a keyboard that folds over. It's a Bluetooth keyboard. It's called Hippie.
It's spelled really weird. It's HIPPI8.
Yeah.
Let me show you. This is an example of a gadget that has a really great idea,
but poor implementation.
Yeah. And you can see it immediately when you look at the space key.
Yeah.
What space key?
Yeah, exactly.
The space key is too small, and so when you're shredding along on this, it actually works pretty good for everything else. But the space key, I can't hit the space key because it's not the same as the Apple or any other space key I've ever had.
We thought it'd be cool. I actually paid for it.
Here's the Apple keyboard, right? And here's the keyboard.
Yeah.
So when you compare the space keyboard, there we go. It's just not the same size.
It's not,
and it's hard to hit, and it's
cool that
it's frustrating.
It's cool that it's portable, but this is an example of probably a foreign company that just didn't pay attention. I don't know. It doesn't matter about being foreign.
You could retrain your
if
this was the only keyboard you used, you could retrain yourself to hit that space bar. But when I'm coming from the Apple keyboard, which I shred on, and I come and try that, it just doesn't work. But this works. Give me that again.
It works with anything.
This works with iPhone, iPad, Android phone, anything with Bluetooth. So it's
you know, I'd rather.
It's an interesting idea because it's small. I mean, here's the iPad Mini, and here's the keyboard that goes with it. It's really a great idea.
And that's one I paid for.
Frustrating.
You definitely want to use it.
How much did you pay for that? You bought it at the Apple Store, though. See, Sam.
I threw away the packaging.
Sam.
Here, I'll tell you.
Actually, let's just.
I'll tell you. I don't know.
There's this thing called Google that's really cool. You know.
All right.
EH. The HIPAA.
HIP AHI.
Hell, with some things you can just take a picture of it and it'll look it up for you.
We don't use technology like that.
Yeah. HIPAA.
Okay.
Anyway, he gets a little discount. He went to the Apple Store today, the employee store. He had somebody give him some discounts, which is really cool.
Oh yeah.
So let's learn more. No.
All right.
Anyways,
let's move on. The cool new speaker from JBL called the Venue LT.
What is this?
Okay, so.
Oh, it's plugged in?
Yeah, it's plugged in. We can move it over here.
Now let's see if we can move the cable over the camera. All right.
Okay. So this is the new Lightning dock. This is the iPhone 5.
So iPhone 5.
And I guess I should show that
this is brand new then.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
Recessed dock.
Oh, nice. Like a German car.
There's a Lightning.
Yeah.
There it is.
Does it work with my does it work with my Element case?
You know, the Element, come on.
Come on, try it.
I don't think so because that thing is huge.
Okay, we'll try it and see. Does it work? Let's see.
Nope.
Nope.
The Element is.
You know, that's the disadvantage. This is the cool new Element case. And this is the only case, by the way, that I've ever had somebody slobbering over my case.
Well,
a KitchenAid executive was like, how the heck did you get an Element case? Because he ordered one a month ago. And he couldn't get one, and I said, "Well, I stood in line overnight with the CEO."
I know.
And that's how I got mine. And he's like, "You a bad name."
But there's a name for it. What's the name?
It's an Element case. There is a name, but you can go to elementcase.com. You can find it.
Not Razor, is it?
No, I don't know. It's an iPhone 5 case. They have a couple different colors, but it's a really beautiful case, and it's a case that's a weapon, man. You can throw this at somebody.
Use that during Armageddon.
Oh man!
For today, for Mayan destruction.
Yeah, you know, aren't we supposed to be all dead yet?
Let's let them listen to the speaker. So the sound on this is outrageous. Listen to this.
The problem is they're listening to it on crappy.
And I'm feeling the strain.
That sounds pretty good.
Give me the beat, boys.
Come on, man. Is that awesome?
That's pretty good. It's very good.
All right.
So we actually, one of the videos that we did when we were down at Harman and JBL was with the guy who designed some of these speakers.
He's a PhD of audio.
So what's really interesting is when you get to go behind the scenes and not just see the what the PR team wants you to talk to, you know, and actually get to meet the engineers. They really have a lot of fun. He's playing with open source software that controls the speaker driver. So
Arduino.
No, that's separate. So he understands how much the speaker moves and its properties in terms of moving. Because the old speakers in the 70s, when you overdrove them like that, it would clip. It would push the speaker out of the operating range, and it would go.
Hear it.
And it sounds crappy. So he's using Arduinos to control the DSPs that are built into the speaker systems to compress the different levels of audio on the fly. So as you turn up the audio, they can compress bass differently than they compress treble, because treble they can get much louder than the bass. The bass actually is moving the driver, like this, and the treble is not moving the driver. So you can turn up the treble a lot without driving the speaker to clipping. And then he's building speaker enclosures in 3D printing, with 3D printing, so they can design new kinds of speaker enclosures and waveguides in hours, which used to take a lot longer. And you can prototype different kinds of products and get them out. It was really a fascinating.
The best part for me was the sound testing, blind sound testing, where they had 4 or 5 speakers behind a black drape. You could listen to all the speakers and then test which one you thought was the best. Both Robert and I chose the least expensive, an Infinity, and which, by the way, is made by Harman, owns Infinity brand. Yeah. And it sounded better than
they're about $500 retail.
They're $500 retail, so you can get them less.
They beat a $3,000.
$3,600 Martin Logan. It's beautiful, but audio, we both picked the Infinity.
So what's really interesting about the speaker tests, when you do them blind, you get different results than when you do them when you know the brand and the cost of what you're listening to. It's like wine, or it's like anything.
Pricing.
Your brain is adjusted by your knowledge of the brand. So like right now we're drinking Goose.
I have no idea.
Bill, jump in here.
You guys have been suckered. Come over here. I guarantee you that I can make both of you pick speaker A in one blind test and speaker B in another blind test.
By turning them up.
This is decades-old psychoacoustics wizardry. Everybody who works in
Bill's right. Bill, why can you do that?
Okay. For several reasons. If I play the same music for you out of 2 speaker systems and make one 3 decibels higher, you will prefer that one regardless.
That's true, but they matched.
They didn't do that, Bill.
They matched what this double blind test is for, and the way that they test speakers, because they're not just testing against competitors, they're testing their own speakers, and they're testing to make sure the speaker is the best. They actually level them out to the same decibel level. And I agree with you. That's one thing. The Klipsch horn. So they had Klipsch horns there, and I know this trick because I sold speakers. Klipsch is a speaker that's very efficient, and therefore, if you drive it with a 40-watt amplifier, it's really loud, and it's more loud than any other speaker because of its efficiency.
Right.
And people key in on the efficiency and the loudness of the speaker, but they actually turn the Klipsch horn down to the same decibel level of the other speakers. So
the second approach for doing that is to put some harmonic distortion in the speaker that you're supposed to prefer, because in a short, that is 5 minutes or less listening exercise, most people, 99% of people, will prefer a large amount of harmonic distortion over 0 harmonic distortion. Yeah, listen for an hour, you get different results.
Yep.
It would be interesting to have him discuss with Sean. Sean Olive.
We'd love you to come in and go down with us, because Sean Olive actually took that on, and where was he going? He was testing this. He tests speakers with employees, with kids, adults, with older people. He really wants to understand how people listen to audio and react to it, because that's his job. But where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
He agrees with you, but he doesn't. He didn't do that with our test. But it doesn't matter. The where was
we
I
chose?
going?
We chose the least expensive speaker.
We chose the least
same
expensive
music,
one.
same everything playing on 5 different speakers, and also they train testers. It's not just
that was where I was going.
Right.
So there's JBL has a listening training that you can actually take it on the web, and it takes a week or 2 to learn how to listen, but it'd be fun to have you, because you have what kind of speakers do you have in your house?
I have a variety, but I've got some very large Martin Logans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I definitely find that a lot of inexpensive speakers sound a lot better than a lot of expensive speakers.
Yeah.
But I usually I can trick people into preferring one and then the other. I can make you like whichever one I want.
Interesting. By the way, the one that I liked the least was the pair I own. That tells you something about my buying behavior. I don't have the money to buy the Martin Logans.
All right, so
anyway, so what's next? What do you got? What do you got for us? Staying on the audio level.
Yeah, staying on the audio level.
We have all these gadgets that now use Bluetooth. Now that we all have iPhones and iPads and Android tablets and whatnot that are hooked up with Spotify and Bluetooth, you have these little. What's this called?
Beats.
This is called the Flip.
Yeah.
And that's another JBL product. And it's small. It's Bluetooth. It's a speakerphone, and it's it will power.
It's speakerphone because there's a microphone.
Yeah, there's a
you can put this
speakerphone
on the dashboard of your car if you don't have it.
right there.
So my car has a Bluetooth radio in it, so I can talk, on the phone. But you can use this instead if
But
you have a cheap
the
ass
beauty-
old 1967 Chevy.
It's
or
all
something.
metal around the grill, Bill. So I'm speaking to Bill now because he's the audio expert. Anyway.
Yeah.
But the beauty is the power from this little device is really nice.
He doesn't have. By the way, he has.
Listen.
All right, you don't need to overdrive it.
All right. Anyway, it's a pretty nice little speaker, and it comes in black as well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The modern,
Robert's wife gets this one.
the modern boombox.
Have you seen the Beats pill?
Yeah. That's a newer. I think that just came out, but this is $99, guys.
The only thing about the Beats one is it's NFC capable, so it's kind of nice for Android. You don't have to link with Bluetooth.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, that's beautiful, and 0.2% have that.
No,
Well, I'm just saying it's kind of cool.
This
This is Bluetooth. This is line in. Anyone can use this device.
And low power Bluetooth too.
Yeah, it's low powered as well. Anyway.
I love my NFC tags.
No, I mean, sure, when NFC comes to everyone.
Hold on. I got NFC tags right
Where?
over there, baby.
Where?
See, right there, baby, on the
Oh,
window.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have one. I have one I just made
You
for
come
my
into my
car.
studio and you can get.
I want to do this more often. I'll keep doing this more often because, God, these guys are connected.
What's that?
It's a good day.
What's that, Bill?
Nice.
He said we're connected. Go ahead. Scan
There we
it.
go. You can come to my house and
Scan it.
scan me.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
I actually, on a similar thought with the car thing, I actually have this tag program, so when I tap it, it turns off Wi-Fi, turns on Bluetooth, and enables Pandora.
Yeah, I got this at the Le Web conference in the Belgian startup area. There's a company that's letting you put these around town, and so you can walk up with your Samsung phone or whatever that has NFC, touch it, and then you can put different. Each sticker has a different URL, so you can either scan it with your QR code scanner, or you can touch it with your NFC. There's an NFC chip in this. Or you can enter the URL if you have a really crappy phone that doesn't have a camera or something.
All right. We haven't used this product, but this is called the iNotebook. All right.
And what is this?
So we're waiting to try it out. Robert, we just got it from, again, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly Reeves. And so it's a pen that lets you transcribe your notes and then digitally, puts it into the pen.
So my son is 18. This is his Christmas present, so I hope he's not watching. But
iNotebook.
This he's going to school at Sonoma State, and this will let him walk up with his iPad and start taking notes on paper, and it'll transfer the actual handwriting that he's doing into the iPad. I forget how they do that.
The technology, folks, has
I
been out.
say let's not give this to him for Christmas. Let's open it up and try it with my iPad.
You know, it's going to take forever for you to figure that one out. I mean, let's not waste their time. We're going to try it out and let them know.
No special paper needed. How much was this cost?
I have no idea.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. iNotebook.
There's this
The technology has been out for years from this, and Logitech had one. This Italian company had one. I think Logitech bought them.
Cult of Mac didn't like it, by the way.
iNotebook, another failed attempt to improve on pen and paper.
Yeah, I found it.
Hey, hey, it's one reviewer, guys. So, whatever.
Anyways, we're gonna try giving this to my son.
You
see
can try it
if he likes it or not. But take your ideas, shop
You know, it'd be interesting to see how it works.
It's $179. So
that's
Hey
kind of.
Robert, not to jump in here, but have you guys tried out any of these USB power plugs in your house?
What are they?
Oh, I love those.
Wait, can you hold it?
Show those
hold
up
it
again.
and don't move the camera.
I'm trying.
Okay. Oh yeah. Which one is that by?
It's the Newer Tech Power to You.
Okay. So let me tell you about that.
I just installed some in my house.
Okay. So yes, I do know about it, and let me give you a little backgrounder on that product. The company that created that is FastMac, FASTMAC. So FastMac created that product, and then other people copied it. And you should look at FastMac's product. It's called Power to Go. I forgot now. Go to FastMac. Yeah. It's called.
I've used the Targus one.
It's called
the Targus one's pretty good.
So what's important is to look at the plugs and where they're placed on that product versus U-sockets. And that is a big deal about where those ports are. You'll see yours versus U-sockets.
Yeah.
U-socket is, in my opinion, it looks like the one that's better developed. It might be a little bit more money by a couple bucks. It's $24. But look at the ports, how they cover when you're putting in your AC and how they cover those ports. And that's a big deal.
But it's cool.
Anyway, they're both cool.
I want those in my house everywhere.
I have one. I have one. You can have. I have two. You can have one.
Every outlet on my house basically has a power strip now, and it has like 15
exactly
charging devices.
The only thing I don't like about it is it's low power for the charging. So
really?
it's really like it's only like 2 amps instead of like I think the new chargers are all 5 amps.
Oh.
If you get it with your phone or Nexus 7 or something like that. So it's really only an overnight charger. As far as I can tell.
I would go to U-socket and go look at their specs because that might be different.
The chargers that come with these iPhones and the new iPad and the mini iPad is different. It's smaller than the iPad.
Okay, speaking of chargers.
So which one is, because the big ones charge faster.
Okay, this is a great segue. I didn't bring it with me, but Kensington makes a brand new charger that's almost the same size as Apple's, and it's a fast charge, and it's awesome. It's black. Go to kensington.com. They gave me one, and I've been using it when I travel. I use that. I just wish it had dual USB ports.
By the way, I looked up the U-socket specs. It's 2.4 amps.
Yeah, the ones I have is 2.
Okay, so there you go. That's just, you should get the U-socket and try it out because I believe it's a better product. I think. I haven't tried the other one. So where's the power?
I don't know.
Oh, go to.
I don't know, man.
Anyway, Kensington has.
Oh, by the way, if you're not talking, please mute your phone.
I think that guy's on his phone, and
He's
I
on
think it's
the
windy.
Let's see. If you keep doing it, I'm gonna mute you.
Yeah,
I can mute you.
The
here.
Power Whiz.
What's that?
That's I'm looking on Kensington. It's called a Power Whiz.
Maybe type that in, Robert. Is that the one?
2.1.
It's really nice.
Power Whiz. Keep talking.
I think it is Power Whiz.
That's the little square one that looks like a Apple charger.
The only thing that I thought was pretty cool, it was a Targus one that goes over your 2 ports,
2
your
words.
power plugs, and
Power
then
Whiz is 2 words. Yeah.
and it multiplies the plugs plus gives you 2 or 3 USB ports.
Power. Oh no.
Keep talking.
It's not on there.
I don't know.
But it's Power WIC.
The wine is taking
Absolute
hold of my
power?
brain.
Yes, that's it.
And they do have a dual one.
Absolute Power.
Okay.
They have a dual wall charger for $35.
Oh, that's not it. But anyway, it's a small little plug.
All right. What's this?
And this is we didn't plug it in because it's AC. It's the Soundfly Air from JBL. So there's the plug.
Now the cool thing
There's
is,
the speaker.
Go plug this in. Go back there and plug it in. Come on.
I gotta
Go plug it in.
You have
Go
to
plug
pair
it in. Because
plug it
no,
in.
you don't. I thought it was AirPlay. Yeah, so we're gonna play some Spotify.
So did you guys get lent a whole bunch of JBL things? Or?
Yeah, that's. We were down at JBL and they were really nice to us.
Brand new.
So let's see. I'm trying to go.
Go on to Wi-Fi.
No, it's Mac. So what's neat about this device is AirPlay.
We listened to it
So
at Harman.
I know, but
You have to
hold
go
on.
to your wireless network first.
I'm going. You don't have to do wireless. You have to find the AirPlay
But
setting.
first
and-
you have to set it up with
Hold
wireless to search for
on. No,
it.
you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
All right, sit down. Have a fun chat. Okay. Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah. Okay, got it.
I have to train you how to use your product.
Yeah, I'm an Apple guy. I'm not that bright. If I was bright, I'd have an Android phone. Come on.
Hey, Robert. How are you, mate? It's Brad. How are you, buddy?
Hey, what's up, dude?
How are you, mate?
Where are you in the world right now?
I'm in Australia, mate.
Hold on, I have to figure out.
Is that Brad?
Yes, it's Sam. Hey, Sam, it's Brad. Brad, how are you, mate?
Yeah, where are you at?
How are you, mate?
Brad, where's your
What's going
pug?
Hey, have a seat.
Where's your pug,
Anyways.
Brad?
The dog?
Yeah.
He's asleep on the floor.
Half the time, Brad's photos are of his pug.
No, I don't have a pug. They're just photos off Facebook. They're just ones I like to share.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Shih Tzu.
What the hell do you have pictures of a pug for then?
Because it's off a Facebook page that I like.
Oh,
It's
it's,
a dog
it's,
lover.
it's Australian humor.
Dog people are. So you're down in Australia? Anyways.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, I thought he was from New Zealand. Oh,
No, not from New Zealand. No.
I'm just
Wait,
kidding.
so it's
Okay,
December
keep going.
22nd,
Keep going. I'm enjoying
right?
the show. Good show, guys.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
So we plugged this
All
in.
right, next thing. Whatever. Go get something else that's not JB. Come on.
All right. What else do we have that's not JBL and Apple and stuff?
You have a lot of JBL stuff because you haven't even shown the cool JBL yet stuff.
Wait, I don't have it. I have one other speaker, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
And that's what other stuff do we have?
What kind of apps do you have?
Oh man. All right, that's what we wanted to.
Come
talk
on,
about.
Brad's here for apps because he's
We wanted to talk about some. Cool
Did you get the new
apps.
Facebook Poke app? You can poke me,
Yeah,
man.
you could poke us.
Are you serious?
Oh, you can poke me, man.
Okay.
Pull up the Facebook Poke app. We've got to show this off. It's so
So
stupid.
have you guys seen
but-
Facebook Poke?
Come on.
I'm still getting it.
The new Android app still sucks, by the way.
It all sucks, man. Everything sucks in the tech industry. Come on.
Okay, it's called Poke.
Yeah. All right, poke me, baby.
So check it out. So I'm gonna
I don't say this to many people other than my wife, but go ahead, poke me.
I'm gonna say, for instance, here I could do a video or a thing saying.
Poke me, poke me. Facebook. What do you got?
Okay.
You did this early. Okay. And then I can hold down. Oh, look at him. He looks like a criminal. What the hell?
I just
is
poked
that?
him, and it says poke.
Yay!
Yeah, this is really lame. So let's talk about something cooler.
All right, I gotta bail. Have a good one, man.
Hey, see you later, man. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
So this YouTube app, YouTube Capture, Brad, have you played with that?
Region poke.
Oh, you got it. Oh, I got
I did a
poked.
video poke.
Oh, yeah. I've seen YouTube Capture. Good app.
Hold on. I got a video poke. Press and hold. Now this is really lame because I'm pressing and holding.
Okay, I don't like that feature.
It doesn't work. Whatever. This is lame. You know, when an app is written in 9 days, you know it's really lame. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You already,
Who said that on Facebook that it was written in that 9 days? But it's pretty.
Did you
true.
see Santa Bomb?
Oh no! See, you always have fun apps. I have useful apps like
Oh,
YouTube,
really?
YouTube Capture. You capture YouTube. I put a video up yesterday. It's pretty awesome.
Robert,
Yeah.
Robert, the 9 days thing. When you think about that, Facebook engineers are like 20x normally.
Yeah.
So that's more like 180 days.
Okay. Except the actual Facebook app took 9 months to create, So when I hear 9 days versus from the same team, when I hear 9 days versus now they are getting some.
First off, you're talking about hundreds of millions of users and having to optimize every tiny bit of things. They really took time to make sure everything looked and felt perfect on that app, and you know it, and you raved about it, so I know you do.
I did.
This one was partially get it out the door, see how people like it over Christmas, and then continuously develop it. So I don't fault them for taking 9 days and getting it out there.
They should call it Poke Beta.
No, it's a poke app. Come on.
They're
what
not
does
Google.
It do? It's trying to compete with Snapchat, which is the white hot thing right now, and it's trying to keep everybody.
All right, next, Rockmelt.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think, guys, of Rockmelt?
The browser?
I love it. Got it yesterday. Great app.
You think so?
Yeah, it's okay.
Unless I thought it's okay, but what do you think is great about it, Brad?
I just like the interface. That's really not easy to use, but I like Flipboard better though.
I don't know. You know, man.
I don't know.
I get bored of apps. Are very easy though. I use it for one day and then I get bored of it.
It's cool. I mean, it's cool at some level, but it's not cool at another. It's now the one I'm starting to get into since it's food season is the Evernote food app, right?
Oh, how about Evernote, the 4.0 version?
Yeah, I mean, Evernote's Evernote. Come on, if you don't use Evernote, you know. But Evernote Food lets you capture all your food experiences and tell it how many calories you're eating and stuff like that. I don't know.
Like I'm watching a video in Rockmelt of Chris Voss show.
Oh yeah, good show.
He's great.
It's cool.
That guy does one of the coolest unboxings in the planet.
Trey Ratcliffe, by the way, released an app with live filters, and they're pretty interesting. So you turn this little dial and you change.
Literally my favorite app right now.
What app is that?
Ingress.
Ingress. Let's talk about Ingress. I love Ingress. I hate Ingress. Ingress is sort of really hard to get into because you have to walk around. That means getting your ass off the couch and doing things. Tell me about it.
So here's the thing. And I had somebody make fun of me recently for liking it. But the whole thing is, there are two things you're trying to do. Screw over the other team and blow things up. Everyone loves these two activities. And sure, you're giving Google a lot of information about your transit and whatever, but you only have to turn it on whenever. And the whole thing about having to move around, that's sort of the point. You get to know a lot more about the area you're in, and I know more about Mountain View and all that than I ever thought I would, just because I started using this app.
Explain the two teams that are in Ingress.
No one's quite sure why, what each of them are going to be doing long term, but it's Resistance and Enlightenment, and there are funny nicknames for them. So Enlightenment is apparently blue. Is apparently green. Resistance is blue, and the nickname.
I'm an Enlightenment guy because my favorite color is green.
So I'm blowing up your stuff right now. I'm gonna go to Half Moon Bay. We're gonna do it. The nickname for my team is Smurfs.
If you're not talking, please mute your microphone, please. Yep. Keep going.
I've had people derogatively call me a Smurf before due to this game because I'm on the blue team.
All right. And so what do you do? What shows up on your screen and why do you play this?
Sorry, I'm gonna mute him.
Yeah, please do mute whoever. Tell me who's noisy and I'll mute him.
Will.
All right.
Okay. So basically, what shows up on your screen are a bunch of portals that are attached to fixed locations, be it works of art or public institutions such as libraries, firehouses, and that sort of deal. And it helps to be in there's this mapping database project that maps these sort of things out, and they loaded it in from that, and it's now all sitting within Google Maps. But Google Apps engine. But the whole thing about this is you gain an appreciation for art and public things that are nearby that you didn't know of existence, and you also blow up if the other team has a portal there, or links your portal or recharge it.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a built-in community because you're fighting the other team. So there's a portal, for example, near where I am.
Played?
No, this is a location. So this is my house, right? And you have to find the portal near you. Now in Half Moon Bay, there's not a whole lot of portals. So
I've got one on mine. So, but basically, I could go in there, and I'm doing this backwards. So let's see. And that's actually a piece of art nearby, and I could go in and I didn't even know that existed actually. That's over there instead of the one behind me. But if I could hack it and try to get items from it or link it to a near one, or there's a whole bunch of strategy, and people are getting really obsessive about it. But the most fun part is just screw with everyone, which is my personal hobby in this game.
This is made by Google, by the way. It's a team inside Google. And this is brilliant because it's going to be one of the things that's going to get us to where Google Project Glass, the wearable computers, because as we walk around with these glasses, we're going to be able to play against each other and explore our world and do things in this game.
So to wit, actually, apparently had gone in to see Larry, and he's like, I want to go do my own thing, and so Larry's like, just do it within Google. The real benefit of this is it's Android only right now, which I've been hearing you guys talk everything, like even the Poke app, for example, iOS only. For people who are on this platform and bought into this platform, we're always the second adopter, which is sort of good because we don't have to deal with the first adopter.
Not anymore.
That's exactly why this app represents
2013, and I talked to Vic this morning. He probably doesn't like that I talk about him. But in 2013, the world is really going to shift toward Android because of the Project Glass, because of contextual applications that are coming out like Ingress. Ingress is one game.
Wait.
No, there's a lot of apps coming that are not on Apple.
Distortion field, distortion.
No, it's not distortion.
The Project Glass... Awesome.
I know you escaped from Apple PR.
No. Because we're seeing. Look, Oakley has it now. They have something really cool with their.
It's called Airwave.
Airwave. We're going to be using them soon, and it's heads-up display using an iOS.
But that's for skiing. There's many contextual apps like
so
Maluba,
long.
like Google Now, like Glimpse, that are coming out on Android first because the developers can talk to the context.
It's more
can
open.
Talk to the dialer.
I agree.
Can talk to the.
I agree, but
Wi-Fi radios and the Bluetooth radios to see where in the world that phone is.
Those glasses are $1,500.
Incorrect.
That's for developers.
Incorrect.
That's for developers. They're going to be $500 or less.
When?
By the end of next year. They're going to be for that's for the developers.
The Microsoft Xbox developer version cost in the multiple hundreds, I think even 1,000. I forget the exact number. It's nowhere near the consumer price. First off, you have smaller runs, which cost more.
Right, I understand that.
The mirrors alone on a little projector cost $300 a machine when you only make a few thousand. Right. They sold 3,000 at their Google I/O conference, right? Or
one of them to you.
I bought number 107, baby.
What I'm saying here is, it's not that I'm saying you're wrong. I'm saying this is going to take a lot longer than what you think.
You're probably right.
A lot longer, by at least 2 to 3x longer. You guys, Android is bigger. Actually, it's bigger.
6 times bigger.
It's bigger.
Yeah.
But
for every iOS device, 6 Android devices sell.
It's also heavily fragmented.
I can take the Apple's. One part of being a good debater is you got to take both sides, right?
Absolutely.
Apple monetizes more than 6 times more per device. It also has more than 6 times the usage per device of mobile and web and application usage. But still, Android is clearly on a tear, and I think 2013 is going to be a huge year for Android.
But Robert, I mean, you know, you're talking about glass. I mean, if you were talking about the phones and you said that, I might say, okay, I kind of agree with you, or there's that possibility. But just like what Sam said, I mean, we're talking about an uber techie, uber geeky sort of thing, which always tends to be with a smaller crowd, and And we, of course, haven't even bridged the whole privacy issue thing where people are freaking out about that big barrier there when it comes to Google Glass.
That is also true.
By the way,
I have a whole chapter in my book called The Freaky Line, which is all about technologies that are freaking people out, and this stuff is going to totally freak people out.
By the way, that person that just spoke with us is Adam Hellaway.
Yeah.
Hello, Adam. And he's local.
Are we going for sushi, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need is your go-ahead, and we're doing it, man. That's it.
So, hey, I want to interrupt this broadcast with an app. So, speaking of a cool app.
I could talk about Google Project Glass all night long.
but that's I want to talk about multiple things instead of like C++. All
right, what kind of app do you have?
Can I say something before?
Yeah, go for it.
If we have this conversation again at the end of 2013, if you don't have an Android device in your pocket, I will find some sort of object to eat and eat it, preferably my hat.
That is very astute because I think Google Project Glass. First of all, I'm 107th. I'm on the list.
So what? Who cares?
There's gonna be a million people that are gonna buy this in the first year.
Really?
And what app are you going to develop on Glass?
I have 3 developers waiting for my glasses.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Robert, this would be
developer because every developer who wasn't at Google I/O is like calling everybody who was at Google I/O going.
Okay.
Let me close up by saying that the only reason that I think, well, not the only reason, but one of the primary reasons why I think Android could finally really, spike in a big way or just blow iOS out of the water is Honeycomb. I bought my first Android device because, not Honeycomb, excuse me, Jelly Bean. I bought my first Android device because of the polish of the interface. And it's finally getting a polish, a fit and finish, and somewhat of a stability that is something that an iOS fan would go ahead and gravitate towards.
It's close. It's not quite. It's not quite to the iOS. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I used Nexus 7 for 2 months because I couldn't afford an iPad Mini, and I just got the money to buy an iPad Mini a few days ago, and man, the iPad Mini blows this thing away.
Look, guys. We will use the best technology that comes up. It doesn't matter what OS, what hardware platform, but right now it does not compare to Apple's hardware and iOS.
I love the iPad Mini.
But it is switching, and that is dangerous for Apple, and that's why the stock price is dropping.
Well, and Sam, do you think? I mean, I think that when you think of the wide variety, you think of the techie group. Those aren't the folks that are creating the mass sales in either of these platforms. Right. It's the mass folks that don't have any clue about some of these background hardware specs and things like that. So for them, it's really about, does it work? And then does it work in regards to, like, if I'm sitting there and I'm using an iOS device, 99% of the time it responds to exactly what I want to have happen. You pick up an Android device, no telling which one you get.
Adam, you said it responds. Google now has something that predicts it ahead of time.
Yeah, and that's coming to iOS in a month. But this stuff is going to jump fences. I mean, notice what we haven't talked about in the last 30 minutes.
What?
Microsoft, RIM, Nokia.
RIM. Okay, why?
Because it's Apple versus Google. That's what is capturing our interest right now. Right? Go for it.
Prefer their coffee.
Yeah. Okay. I used to work there. I mean, I should love Microsoft, right? I do love Microsoft because they paid for my life for 3 years, right. but they're just not in the game. Okay. So keep riffing on this.
Anyway,
do you have a cool app?
I wanted to show an app that I use.
You better have a cool app.
Okay, how many of you use Weather, the normal app on your iPhone called, what is it called? Weather? I don't know what they call it.
It's a piece of crap.
Anyway, I've been using Weather HD for a while, and it's beautiful, guys. Yeah. And let me show you why. Look at the graphics, okay? And it's beautiful, and it gives you hourly.
Now you're going to force me to come out and show off
different cities.
Sam, when does a utility become too much when it starts adding fireworks and things like that to it?
Tell me about it. Look at this app called uberweather.com. uberweather.com.
That's for the Al Rokers of the tech field.
And it shows you every weather pattern around the world, and then you can zoom in. Let me zoom in here. Hold on a second. This, by the way, this is using Google Maps, and then overlaying weather on top of it.
Show this cross section.
There's San Francisco, and it shows you the weather. And let's go out to Santa Cruz. You know,
we haven't even finished with this one.
Yeah, well, you know,
he's Shanghaiing my app.
I don't know. You know, the guy who wrote Uber Weather has been begging me for PR for a while, and it's like, it's weather. You look outside, it's cool.
Yeah, but I look at weather. I live in Marin, and I do a lot of stuff outside. So I love weather apps, and this one kicks butt.
What's
it's called Weather HD.
Okay.
So look, if it takes up a lot of processing
power, but it's
power,
going to be available on Android anyways.
This is on my iPhone. I like it. It's way better than Apple's. But
now,
so can I ask you guys your opinion on this? So I finally am starting to get my little gadget stuff from Kickstarter, the Kickstarter folks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, especially when it comes to the product, the tech stuff that's out there, that seems to be taking forever to come to market. So there's this big flurry initially, everybody's funding stuff, and then there's things that are morphing by the time they get into your hand or taking forever, like the Pebble Watch, which is still sending out big, long notifications on things. What are your... have you been getting any of those?
It's hard to build. I am. I just interviewed the CEO of Basis, which makes a watch, and I'm supposed to get one around the first of the year. And I've seen a few really early adopters get them. It is hard to build hardware. And this is a truth that people are going to learn about this Kickstarter world. It's not just, you can't just 3D print 100 million copies of something. You know, it's one thing to 3D print or make something that's cool. It's another thing to get it into the Chinese supply chain. They only take people who are venture funded. And then it's another thing to get it up to the quality level where you want to ship it to customers. It's hard. And people on Kickstarter are going to learn this, that it takes time. It's probably aggressive, the schedules that you see when you see a hardware piece on there. It's probably aggressive. It will probably ship eventually. The Pebble Watch, I mean, I have 3 of the early Pebble Watches here, and they're pretty cool, but they're not done, and they're not ready for consumer. And I'm sure they're going through it and sending it back to China, sending it back to wherever it's manufactured, saying that's not good enough for the average consumer.
Is that going to impact how people continue to fund hardware projects for the time being, since now we're seeing an extension of that?
It might, and you know, anybody on Kickstarter who gives $100 to XYZ company, that you got to realize you're an investor at that point, and you're an investor in an idea, and 1 out of 20 ideas work, and one, you know, and that means 19 fail. And you got to be willing to take that kind of risk. Maybe it's less risk. Maybe it's 1 out of every 8, but it's risk. You're risking $100 on the chance that you're going to get a product shipped in N months. And this stuff is hard. It's going to get it is getting easier thanks to 3D printing, thanks to PCH, which is a supply chain that makes my Apple Power supplies. And made the Nook.
That's me. That's me.
Nook. Oh, that's fine. Made the Nook e-reader and made all sorts. I was in Shenzhen and saw what they do. They're building a incubator in San Francisco to help move product from Kickstarter into the Chinese supply chain and back to your house. But it takes time. GoPro cameras was developed 200 yards from my house. And I talked with Nick. Now, you know, GoPro can do no harm, right? But go back 10 years, or
it's 10 years old, right?
It's almost 10 years old. Go back to when he developed that 200 yards from my house, and he built it with his mom's sewing machine, and he built a prototype, and it was crappy, and the design, he didn't even know how to use CAD software. He sent it over to China, and he had all this iteration, and he had time to build a marketplace. Today, our expectations are that it's going to be perfect, and it's going to be out in a month. That's just not realistic with this stuff.
All right, we got.
Anyways, keep going.
We have another product.
I mean,
we have another product.
You know, talk about the JBL speaker. We talked with the engineer who builds the speaker,
right?
And we saw just how much work goes into this.
You know, ton.
The understanding the software to drive just a speaker, just a piece of metal driven by magnets in and out, you know, that causes sound to happen, and you have hundreds of thousands of lines of code to control that little speaker that's moving in your car or in your headphones or in that device, and then you have to build 3D waveguides, waveguides that are going to guide that sound and amplify it and cause it to change behavior. It's hard stuff. This is not something that happens in like 30 days. It is stuff that takes time.
All right. With that said, there's one other product. This is low tech.
This isn't checking in a code to a compiler. I mean, I can check in 20 lines of code to a compiler and it works, and then I could ship it around the world. That's different than a hardware project is hard. And it's called hard for a reason.
The closure of that. The closure.
What's that?
No, I was. He did a dig on the Surface earlier. I mean, on Microsoft's products earlier. But the Surface is actually really, really nice. I mean, it's
the pricing.
It's pricing. They'll fix it though.
It's really nice. But name one thing,
app.
Name one thing it does that's mind-blowing over any other tablet.
The the cards. Give me a few seconds.
Run Windows 8.
Yes. No. The fact is for someone oversubscribed to everything social like you, I think you have 7 screens each individually on a different social network.
Right. Yeah, I have 3 screens.
Oh my God,
and the Vizio, 65 inch. We have a 65 inch screen.
That's not even on right now. You know, I mean, I don't even have my.
Go ahead.
I'm not even watching.
Wait, let me finish. Let's
go for it.
Go ahead, finish.
Constantly having, and the design is beautiful, and I was at a Facebook Windows 8 hackathon, and the things they managed to get onto this sort of stuff very quickly was amazing. It's not hard to add into this UI that they have going here. So it is a really easy to develop for thing. So extending what's currently out there on there, and they have a JavaScript library that actually does a fair deal of damage very quickly. So even JavaScript developers can go onto this as opposed to having to know C# or
I love it, but I fly, and all I see is iPads and Android devices. I go to meetings.
But to use that argument, you're saying the old feature phones, when you saw those back in 2004, and only seeing 1% as iPhones, that argument's invalid to the past.
How did Steve Jobs change the world? Because I was there when he did it. We were both at the store. Mm-hmm. How did he change the world? He showed us a world that did not exist. And Microsoft is not showing us a world that does not exist. It does have a nice UI, but it does not do anything dramatically better than an Android or an iPhone. And until they come up and say, man, look at this app. Look at this XYZ app that you can't really do on an iPhone or an Android device. It's a Me Too device. It's a pretty Me Too device, and that's fooling some people.
Well,
but it's just not getting anybody like going, oh my God. Now, what device did Microsoft develop in the last 10 years that is
Xbox?
No, beyond Xbox.
Yes.
Kinect. I have a Kinect sensor right there. I have a Kinect sensor right there. Right. That is a mind-blowing new device that brought utility to the world that nobody else has since. And now you could say that's developed by an Israeli company, and that's true. It's called PrimeSense, and they have a new sensor coming out at CES in 2 weeks, and XYZ. But they did it. They shipped it, and it is a mind-blowing new product that I've seen dozens of companies form because of that device. I haven't seen anything about the Surface that is mind-blowing, that makes me go, oh my God, I couldn't do that on my iPad. Yeah, it's nicer. It's the UI is like, okay, but to tell you the truth, in my iPhone or iPad or my Android devices, how much percent of time do I spend in the home screen? 1%, if that. All my time is spent in apps, whether it be the Gmail app or
Safari
the
or
Facebook
email.
app
Safari
or
or
the
email.
Safari app. Safari to me is an app. Safari or Waze or on and on. I mean, I have 200 apps on my iPhone. I don't, the fact that the 1% is better is just not interesting to me. It's not,
well,
and it doesn't even matter what I think.
Yeah,
it matters what the developers think. Because I go to developers and say, "Are you excited by this? Do you stay up at night thinking about dreaming?" No, they don't. They are dreaming about Google Project Glass. 2,000 out of the 7,000 paid $1,500 to buy the Google Project Glass because they want to dream of a new world and they want to take it home and work on it at nights and weekends and put their love into it. Windows Surface, give me a break.
That and they wanted to parachute out of a blimp onto Moscone as well. I mean, that was the best demo in history.
Absolutely. Well, not really.
Even beats out any Jobs demo I've ever heard of. I mean, come on. Oh, it's a mile above me. Why don't I have people jump out of a balloon and go on a BMX bikes?
There's actually two better demos. There's actually two better demos in history. One is the demo that Doug Engelbart did in 1969.
You mean the mouse?
Of mouse and Windows. It's called the Mother of All Demos. You can find it on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search for Mother of All Demos and Doug Engelbart. You'll find it.
Right.
The other one is of the Boeing 707, where they flipped the Boeing 707 twice upside down in front of 100,000 people. That was the demo of all demos. And by the way, Vic Indotra, I worked for him. Now he's the VP of social at Google. And we would talk about that demo. And we would say, what could we do to come close? We knew we weren't going to beat that demo. That demo will stand for hundreds of years as the demo of all demos. It sold the world on the jet airplane age. That is, and you can find that on YouTube too. In fact, let me search for it because it's a. Hold on a second.
I tried to find it on YouTube, and I found some interview that just kind of interspersed a small clip of it, but I couldn't find the whole thing.
Seattle.
Hey, who of you are going to CES?
If it's the Boeing 707 barrel roll. Let me
1955.
1955. Tex Johnson did it.
You can share the thing and have everybody watch it on the.
Well, we're gonna show it right now because it is the demo of all demos. It is.
Tex Johnston was well aware just how lively the Dash 80 was. He saw a need to share this knowledge with the public.
Wow.
And we, Boeing, had the first jet airplane, which was going to reduce the size of the world by a factor of 2 when measured by flight time.
I'd skip it about 30 seconds. It has to take off.
Gigantic step.
Yeah, it's worthwhile to hear Tex talk.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? And thank you for smoking. That was the Marlboro Man. He's the best voice ever.
It's important to understand what was going on in 1955. There were several crashes of jet airplanes, and most of the flying public did not believe that jet airplanes were safe and were useful for flying. And let's just fast forward through it because you can watch the whole thing. Let me see.
You have your Drobo in front of it.
Yeah, we should talk about the Drobo.
Well,
all right. So they flipped this sucker over. Let me just
you can hit your space bar.
Yeah.
Did a nice 1G roll and came out in level flight.
Look.
And I knew that no one would believe what they had seen.
Look, he's rolling it.
Turned around and came back and repeated the same thing on the southwesterly heading.
And he wasn't supposed to do that, right? I mean, wasn't there something?
He could have gotten fired for this, right?
I happened to be out.
Or you know, died.
Well, no, he knew.
And I was dumbfounded. And
he knew what the risks were of the plane. He knew he had done this before. He's a test pilot. He knew what this plane was designed to do.
He was a hacker.
Well, he was a hacker. He knew what this plane was designed to do, and he did it. And he knew it would survive. He knew the design constraints. And when you talk to the Boeing people, you know, they know what the stresses of the plane can handle. He knew this plane would handle it no problem. So he flipped it over twice in front of 100,000 people, and that is the demo of all demos. I don't know that this is going to be exceeded for hundreds of years, this personal demo, because one, the risk to his career, two, the product. This was a product that changed all of our lives.
I guarantee Elon Musk, one of his companies, might not be a company he has now, will within our lifetime, or at least mine, I meant that in the nicest way possible. He's a young man.
He is one of these guys who could. Absolutely. I mean, I talked to Jason Calacanis, who is a personal friend of Elon Musk, earlier today, and we raced the first. Elon took me in the first Tesla and we raced Jason in his Corvette, and it blew away the Corvette.
Easily.
And I said, man, this company is going to go somewhere, and now he's flying to the moon and Mars and whatever. I will go with Elon anywhere. Elon is he's a rock star along with Tex Johnson, but you know, the stars have to align like it did for Tex Johnson in terms of human behavior. Even if Elon goes to Mars and takes me to Mars, I don't know that everybody's going to go to Mars. It's a very expensive and very costly thing. This is something that everybody in the world does now, or at least in the modern world, in the first world, second world, and even third world, flies a jet plane.
But I know the people who. Well, I don't know them. I know the names of the people who were the only people actually on the moon. You until you said Tex Johnson today. Well, I knew Tex Johnson because of other things, but until you said that Boeing demo, I had no idea what it was. Yep. Everyone on the planet knows Neil Armstrong was the first guy stepping foot on the moon.
Absolutely.
And if Elon Musk is the guy who gets us to Mars first, or the first person to die on the moon, or live on the moon, that will be something that's known throughout human history.
Believe me, there's a lot of people who could change the world, but this guy.
But a lot of them lack.
We were
the
talking
finances.
about demo of demos, and that guy did the demo that changed the world, whether you know his name or not. When you work at a big company or a small company, you should think about Tex Johnson, about can you demo something that changes the world as much as the jet airplane did, and can you do it in such a spectacular way as Tex did by flying it upside down and proving to the world this was safe.
All right.
Anyways.
All right.
Did Steve Jobs do any demo like that?
He's done pretty.
He's done great demos.
Think the original Apple II demo gets maybe close.
Maybe close.
It's pretty cool.
But it's not quite as close as a jet airplane flying upside down in front of 100,000 people. I mean, I've been in Flint Center in De Anza where they demoed the Apple, the Macintosh, and other things. It's not quite as cool as Tex Johnson.
Well,
maybe we don't know his name because we didn't have YouTube back then.
Right.
But that was the demo of all demos, and then Doug Engelbart in '69 did the mother of all demos, and I have not seen. Steve Jobs did not come up to the level of either of those two guys.
Robert, it's all about context. Had I not, and I didn't know the context about the plane thing, and so as you start to describe it, because we think of planes barrel rolling all over the place.
Right.
And when you start to bring up some context, it makes sense. And so when somebody looks at something like what Steve Jobs did, when you understand the difference of what was going on there versus previous to that, the context makes it like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, there's those things like Jay was talking about that are just everybody has a mental context of it. Somebody on the moon, nobody's done that before. But in most cases, it has to do with context about what's going on.
My own context, I think the Project Glass demo is going to be a demo that we look back for decades. That was a extraordinary demo of this new product. And by the way, they only showed maybe 1% of what those things are going to do.
Well, no,
maybe 1%.
I bet you maybe 10%.
1%. They only showed that they can do live video and photos.
Because that's all it could do at the moment. Actually, they haven't developed all the rest of the stuff, right?
So let me tell you the demo, because Vic talked to me, and I might never get invited to a Google thing.
Do we need to go off air for this?
You know, this is Google Plus, and so, you know, if Vic doesn't like it, oh well. You had to watch.
Keep drinking.
How many minutes are we into this thing? So the Google demo, the reason Vic hired the team, or whoever, Vic and Larry and whoever, Sergey, hired the team that does the Project Glass, which was codenamed Wingman, and that's like off the record, was he...
except for to everyone watching this and everyone
on YouTube too.
Vic and the team and whoever decided at Google to hire this team, buy this team, bring this team on, they asked him to hold a laser pointer across the room on a single point. Yeah. And the truth of your hand is it's not very steady. It's also your eye-hand coordination is not all that great. For some of us who are athletes, it's higher, and some of us, like I have an autistic kid, it's very low. When you hold that laser pointer, and I have a laser pointer around here. When you hold that laser pointer on a single point across a room, like on a small little target, it's very hard to hold. When you put that on your glasses, when you put a laser on your glasses, you can hold that point on a single point for hours, because we have 100 million years of evolution in our head. And that's the pitch for Google Glasses. You're going to control these by your head movement. You can move a laser pointer from point to point to point to point to point with very small movements, and you can build a new user interface. And that's what Google Glass is. That at its heart is really cool. Add in all the contextual stuff, because these sensors, there's 7 sensors on a Google Glass. There's there's GPS, there's accelerometer, there's compass, there's a camera, there's a microphone, there's a gyroscope, you know. And these sensors are going to sense whether I'm running, sitting, walking, shopping, skiing, cycling, etc. And they're going to be able to talk to the other APIs like at Facebook or Google Plus and say, hey, I'm running. Show me only appropriate messages for right now. I'm running. And that, you know, that's 3 or 4 years in the future. But that's going to be really cool.
Hey Robert, what do you think about the Microsoft patent for augmented glass that they come out in November?
Microsoft is in the game because they have a lot of smart people at Microsoft Research. If you ever count Microsoft out of the game, you're stupid, right? They have $60 billion, and they have a huge research department who's thinking about this stuff and thinking. Apple, you can't count out of the game because they have $115 billion. Amazon, you can't count on the game because they know where you buy things. Facebook, you can't count on the game because they know what you like, who your friends are, what your religion is, what your, whether you're a man or woman, on and on. Samsung, you can't count on the game because they know how to make things. They have great material scientists, and they know how to make displays and processors and memories. And then you start struggling for who else is in the game. You know, RIM, are they in the game? I don't know. Sam and I are going to meet with RIM at CES and see BlackBerry 10 and see if they have a shot at staying in the game.
In business.
In business, well, in the game means in business, right?
RIM is still in the game?
Who?
I don't think that they have any chance at all, Rim.
I don't think they do.
And Adam, that is the belief.
Hey, Kim.
And hi, Kim.
Hi.
And that is the belief, and that's my belief. But I'm willing to meet with them and be blown away because remember Apple in 1998. Everybody thought they were out of business and out of the game. And then this guy came back, called Steve Jobs, and brought him back. And that can happen. Now, does RIM have Steve Jobs? No.
No.
But I am willing to listen to any company that has millions of customers because they can come back. Apple proved it, and Steve Jobs proved it, and they can come back. Will they? Probably not. But I am willing to listen.
It's a good sign there, yeah.
I would have the same conversation with you in '98. I remember arguing with Steve Broback and saying, man, the Macintosh sucks. It crashes all the time. Why the hell are you still on this? I'm on the Windows machine. I was a Windows fan back then. Why are you on the Macintosh? He's like, I just like Apple, and I like Macintosh, and I know it sucks, and I'm sticking with it. And sure enough, Steve Jobs came back, and it just get better and better and better for him ever since. And now I'm an Apple fan. I have Apple staring at me. I have Apple here, Apple there, Apple everywhere, Apple on my TV, Apple on my medium screen, Apple on my small screen. So I know it can be done. It's very improbable that it can be done, but it can be done. Apple, Steve Jobs proved that. I'm willing to listen. I'm not so religious that I don't believe anybody can change the world. I believe people can change the world, but they are in a deep hole. They are in an extraordinarily deep hole.
That's two big players, which you really need.
Apple was almost out of business. When Steve Jobs came on board, they had 3 to 6 months before they ran out of cash.
Remember the Wired magazine? It said pray?
Yeah.
It told I was a Windows guy back then. I was like cheering for Apple to die. I was like...
Sacrilege.
No, it wasn't sacrilege. Microsoft had a better product in the 1990s.
Didn't you work with Microsoft in the 1990s?
We had Windows NT. It did not crash. And I kept bothering guys like Sam and going, you're on a system that crashes I would watch Steve work, and his system would lock up. Steve Broback is now running the Dent conference, which is a cool conference, and we're going to see him at Tweet House at CES. And his system would lock up right next to me, and I was like, why the are you still on this system when it's locking up when my system doesn't lock up? Windows NT was totally superior to what Apple was shipping in 1997, 98, 99. And then Steve Jobs came back, and it just got better. They brought the next OS and rebuilt Macintosh, which was a great... Tell me about the great pain. Tell me about Quark Express and Photoshop, how it didn't work.
Oh, yeah. Well, when they came out with OS 10 or X, the big problem, I don't know if you guys realize this, was the printing. It was broken. It was broken.
Everything was broken.
Well, printing was a big...
Photoshop was broken. PageMaker, which was their number one desktop publishing app, which now was called InDesign, was broken.
But printing is the cornerstone of still. So for multimedia and design and print, and it was broken, and everyone complained, and they were going nuts that it was beta, and they should have never shipped that with a broken printing engine. And it changed really quickly. It changed within a year. Less than 12 months, it changed. It got better and better in a very short order.
Watch Apple Maps. Today's argument is over 5 things: sensor data, wearable computers, big data, which is taking all of your data, and showing us something cool like Instagram, data.
Hey,
social network and mapping. And mapping is 1/5. Social networks is the other. Watch who Facebook partners with. That is going to be huge this next year.
Go ahead.
Hey, dude. Hey, Robert. Got a question for you, mate.
Go ahead.
What do you think is going to be the next Apple TV next year?
The TV is interesting. I don't. There is.
Well, we know who is gonna. I believe Sharp is gonna be the manufacturer. I was told this a while back from someone that knows the guys building it.
Right.
But that's what he said. Does that mean it's correct?
So
I think it's Sharp.
That's an interesting thing to watch at CES. Is what is going on with 4K and 8K TVs, and does it? So at CES last year, we saw the Sharp demo. Sharp had two TVs. They had a 65-inch with a 1080p, and they had a 65-inch with 4K. They were playing the same 1080p content, and they were upsampling that 1080p content for the 4K, and it was dramatically better. If Apple shows a product that when you walk in the store and they have it sitting next to a Samsung TV that's dramatically better quality,
right?
They have Apple has a shot at shipping a TV.
So let me ask your opinion on this, because I actually came to a point where I said Apple is not going to release an actual TV. They're going to just buff the heck out of their set-top box for the reason being that folks are pretty picky about dimensions of TV, contrast of TV, all those sorts of things that are not worth Apple really fussing about, and so having a set-top box where you can use it on your own.
Apple already released a TV. It's called the Retina MacBook Pro.
Well, I have one of those.
Very small TV.
It's not the Retina displays. I have a Retina display on my iPhone, and I have a Retina display on my MacBook Pro. They are not TVs. They're not 65 inches of glass sitting on your wall where you're going to watch a movie.
Right.
Now, there are two technologies to watch. One is the screen upsampling. If Apple can ship a 4K TV before anybody else with upsampling that works, Sharp showed me some in an experiment in the CES booth last year, and we're going to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
But Sharp, so it's interesting that Sharp is working maybe with Apple, but Sharp showed a 4K TV that if you had 4K content, it looks, oh my God. And then they showed 1080p content upsampled. So algorithmically upsampled 1080p content, and it was dramatically sharper, side by side, than a 1080p normal TV. If they can do that, Apple has a shot at, and if they can do it exclusively, in other words, Samsung's not going to do it, and whatever, LG's not going to do it, Panasonic's not going to do it. But
what about things like sizing and all those little stupid things that people do? Well, I don't want a 50-inch, I want a 42-inch, or I want a 65-inch.
Most people want a 60 to 70-inch TV. I have a 65-inch TV in front of me. That's most people. When I go to my poor neighbors, I have friends who are really broke, and they have a 60-inch TV in their house. Okay, if a poor person, a poor being an employed middle income,
somebody with not a lot of dispensable.
Yeah, I can go in. I have credit card space now because I sold some
102-inch TVs. We all need to get those.
But if a normal person can go and put a $3,000 TV on their credit cards and buy a $3,000 device, that's a 65-inch TV. That's not the top of the line 70 or 80-inch. No. 70 or 80-inch 4K TVs are going to be $10,000 to $20,000. Bill Gates can afford those. I can't. And my normal everyday friends who are not quite as well off as I am can't afford those. So
they're going to pick a couple. They're going to look at the industry. They're going to pick a couple standard sizes. Again, this will be like, if you want an Apple TV, this is it.
I think it's 45, 60 inch. If Apple does a 70-inch, I would be shocked.
No, they won't.
But there's two technologies that are going to make a 60-inch average TV much better quality. One is upsampling. So who can make a 4K TV and get it to the market at a reasonable cost and upsample 1080p content? Because by the way, the local TV news is not going to buy 4K video cameras and improve its infrastructure for 4K. Just not going to happen. Show me my camera. Where's my camera?
Which? I got it.
What's the point of having 4K?
What's the point of 4K?
Yeah.
Better.
I mean,
quality.
Basically, but that's
Better
the thing.
quality.
If 1080p, I mean, it's the same thing with DVD and Blu-ray thing. You know,
That's a good example. It's that.
You know, DVDs were made dirt cheap because they think, oh, that's not gonna, no one's gonna buy that.
But what drives the market is the upper middle income people who are gonna want a great movie experience, and it does 4K does matter. They're shooting Avatar or the new movies on 8K right now, and then they're downsampling that to 4K for delivering it into the movie theater. Some movie theaters are getting the full-blown example, but most movie theaters around the world are getting 4K or something. It does matter. When I saw the demos, it was like, I want a 4K TV. Sharp showed me a 4K TV next to a 1080p TV with 1080p content that was upsampled, and it was like, whoa! I want the 4K TV. It was sharper. It was cooler. I want it. It's just a matter of price. Can I go into right now? If you walk into Walmart, you can buy a 1080p TV set for $900.
Less than that.
Less than that. But for a 65, 70-inch TV.
Yeah,
right?
I got a 50 for $800.
A 50 for $800, right?
Yeah.
And so
I remember when a 1080p at Best Buy, this had to be like 6-7 years ago. When I saw a 40-inch for $10,000.
Yeah, and that's changing. So you start out with like an OLED TV at 4K, which is what Samsung was showing off in his booth, and it's like, oh my God, that is so cool. That's more than $10,000, and then it comes down in price. This is what happened. I remember when Steve Wozniak showed me his dye sublimation color printer in 1989. He had the only color printer in Silicon Valley, and it was $40,000. Today, my $70 printer, which is underneath my desk, is a better printer. And
somebody's got to do it first. Somebody's got to do it first, and eventually it's going to.
The price slope always looks like this. It always goes down. I mean, CE was here this morning. They're showing me wireless multi-terabyte devices for a couple $100. It's crazy. What I turn on and I go, how the hell do you make any profit at this?
Well, speaking of newer technology, you guys, both of you, have you guys seen any good Thunderbolt devices out there?
Yeah. Oh, actually, we should talk about
Where's the Thunderbolt adapter?
Thunderbolt.
Where is it?
Baby.
Oh, is that the Drobo?
Check out my Drobo.
Nice. Yeah, the Drobo.
That sounds like a device a homeless person would use.
The Drobo Hobo.
It's a Thunderbolt device. All right, there's the Thunderbolt cable, and let's open this sucker up.
The main problem with Thunderbolt devices are the cord being so ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it's 50
That is Thunderbolt the same thing as
Apple killed a Kickstarter project because
you go read VentureBeat on the Kickstarter thing. It wasn't complete. Apple's a bunch of assholes, but they're assholes for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Which is
because they get paid a lot of money to be that way.
So this is 5 hard drives. 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte. Now this is Drobo is like a RAID system. Yeah. It's an automatic RAID. It's a proprietary RAID. So if any 2 of these drives fail, the data is stored on the.
Is it striped?
What is that? RAID 1 and 0?
So here we go.
We can
pull out one of these drives.
I got it.
All right, you don't have to pull it out further than that. Let's pull it out. You can pull out one of those drives, and the data is still safe. The data is still safe. Did you see those turn yellow?
That's awesome.
The data is still safe on the other 4 drives.
Warning, Will Robin.
Put that drive back.
What's the bare minimum?
It's about 2. You can take out 2/5 of the drives.
That's awesome.
You know, and so if one of these drives fails, because that's what will happen, is one of these drives will fail, and the data is all safe on the other.
That's really
and
cool.
And watch, this light will come back on.
So it's likely, obviously, a geeky, techie product. So what do you see the best use case for something like that, Robert?
Well, this backs up all my data. See, the other drive just came on, and now everything's cool and green.
So is that like 6 terabytes you've got available at any period in time?
Something like that. It's 3 times 5 minus 3 times 5, which is 15 minus 6. It's the two.
It's 9.
It's 1 or 2 of it. It's 9.
Holy smokes! Are you saving all of everybody's tweets? Is that what you're doing?
Everything he has is in 4K.
Meet my 5D Mark III. Okay.
Beautiful.
We can film a lot of 1080p video on one of these suckers, and you need that backed up. Now, this protects me against a drive dying. It does not protect me against a house burning down or something like that. I need a second one at work.
I got one product and I gotta
That's
go.
probably why you work at the
Come on, Sammy.
Hey, I gotta drive back to Mill Valley. It's an hour away. So,
it's an hour and a half.
Right,
Come on, be honest.
So, all right, we have one product left. This is the lowest tech product. This product is really cool. This is from Kiva, and
the website.
No,
the microfinance people.
Kiva.
Here, give me this. It's an American-made bag.
Yep.
It's made here in San
that means
Francisco.
very expensive.
It's made in the Bay Area. It is really expensive. Okay, but let me explain something to you. This isn't. You can use it in the overhead. It's really.
I don't care.
Light. It comes with.
How much does this cost? Like $200?
This is $275. But hold on a second. So it comes with all these different compression bags.
So you can take it out at the airport.
Yeah, and
take your iPad out, take your MacBook Pro out.
It's got this. Now here's the deal. It's not only for overhead use, but they're offering through Popper. We're gonna list it, POPR. It's a special site that offers stuff like this for $100 off for us, and it's really nice. Robert gets it. They gave it to me.
$100 off.
So I sold my soul for 200. How much? 270 usually.
Well, normally 275.
275. And so now you know what my soul's worth.
You're not getting paid anymore.
I have one.
But
I'll take one for free.
Exactly.
Anyway, so check it out on POP. I'm gonna list the discount.
$100 off. It's not bad.
But I mean, we use this stuff like night and day for traveling.
Actually, I just ended up going to the Middle East, and I ended up having like this big old bag. To be honest, I think, Sam, it was from one of the events you guys did. I forgot who the company was, but
Teen and Tech.
Yeah, but it was one of the bags, not a rickshaw, but another one that was. I think that might have been what it was.
STM is great. They make great gear.
And that would have helped a lot as well. I mean, just taking all your gadgets out when you end up being somebody who wants to bring a lot of tech with you is a pain in the butt.
I mean, STM, by the way, is an Australian-based company.
It's American-made, baby.
But this is American-made.
Yeah.
It's called Kiva, and I don't have one. I can't wait to try it, but Robert is going to use it.
When's it going to have the motorized skateboard wheels? That's what I want.
Oh, these wheels are beautiful.
There's startup
levitation.
This startup called Boosted Boards brought me a skateboard that had motorized wheels on it. It was awesome.
Anyway, that's the last product that I wanted to show. That's it, and
it's been a fun show.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, can you record a video of you on the skateboard one day, mate, please?
What's that?
Can you record a video of that? Of you riding the skateboard?
Me on the skateboard? I actually did. It's if you search for Boosted Boards Scoble, you'll see me riding a skateboard with electric wheels. Now these Boosted Boards is a Y Combinator company that came out of Stanford, and the motors are really interesting. They're brushless motors. They're 1 horsepower motors, and they can go, I think, 7 miles. 7 miles on a charge, so it takes a battery about this size, and it could go 7 miles. It's pretty mind-blowing.
I'm gonna be impressed by that luggage when I can push it like Boba Fett pushing Han Solo in carbonite. That's what I'm talking about.
Did you see the? Did you see?
They
the
won't
Big
work
Dog?
on water though. That's the biggest issue.
Did you see the Big Dog video I put up this? Let me actually
freak
pull this
me
video
out.
up. It's pretty cool.
Freak
Time
me
to open another
out.
bottle of red.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah,
that's what the Mayans were talking about.
Strum.
Go ahead,
That's really
Brad.
good, mate. Strum.
Big Dog.
Strum. Jacob, tell me about it.
Strum?
Yeah, Strum. Get it. It's a really cool app.
I have it.
I love it. It's the best.
It's okay. There's a lot of bad content.
So,
Big Dog is what the Mayans were talking about. That's all I've got to say.
Actually, if you guys didn't hear it,
Yeah,
Rebecca Black
Right?
admitted she likes Saturdays.
Good app,
today.
mate.
Hold on.
That was the apocalypse.
That's so it's going to happen tomorrow.
And what? Hey Sam, and what iPhone case are you using on your phone?
STM, baby. From
Good stuff,
Australia.
mate. Yep. Way to go.
Is it just the aesthetics, or has it got anything in it?
Which, the case?
Like, yeah, battery or anything like that?
No, it's slim. Well, Mophie doesn't have their pack. This is called the Harbor.
All right.
I'm gonna get I'm gonna get the Element case that Robert Scoble's got, but that's too much money.
I love the Element case.
It's
You want to be really freaked out? Watch this video. Hold on a second. Did you see this video of this dog, this robotic dog?
How old is this one?
This is like fairly recent.
Fast forward to this dog, man. It is crazy what this thing did.
So it's real?
This is real. This is Boston Dynamics. It's a company that builds robots.
They've been doing these for
They build
some
the
time. This must
apocalypse.
be one of the newer versions.
Oh, I love this. I love this stuff. I love
Definitely
robots.
one of these
Skynet in progress.
What does it do? Does it poop Transformers?
No, it just walks around. It can go on. It can go on an icy surface. It can fall. In fact, at some point, it falls over. Let me.
Yeah, it sheds dark energy.
It's
Dark matter.
Let me see if I can get it to
Look
where
at
it falls
the
over.
fan as its butt.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
It's
see if I can
expelling gases.
Hold on. It's gonna fall over.
So all I'm saying is I want a car that works on methane, so I can have the first bean burrito powered. That's my dream.
Oh yeah, you're not the only one.
Yeah, we don't want to
Here we
smell
go.
you when you come by.
Watch this sucker. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. It's gonna fall
And it's
over.
base.
Oh.
Oh look, it gets up. Does it get up?
It gets up.
What happens if it didn't land like that though?
Oh,
like a turtle.
It's smart. It's pretty smart.
These things are developed actually to be able to sense independently what surface they're on and rebalance themselves if something gets in their way and they trip and all that
Wow.
Oh yeah, they actually
So it
kicked
doesn't become
one
the Mars
a couple
rover.
years back during
I
walking. They
remember
stuff.
kicked it.
Robert, have you seen
cross-legged? Man, it was
have you
brilliant.
seen the original one that he was just talking about where they actually parodied it, and so instead of the actual robot, it was like two people stuck together with a black thing draped around them?
Yes, I did. So at
Have you
Google
seen this
Zeitgeist, I was lucky to get invited to Google Zeitgeist because I pimped Google Plus so much lately. That Google Zeitgeist had the CEO of Boston Dynamics come out and give a talk, and he showed this sucker. I mean, it's crazy. And they also have a smaller version that runs like 40 miles an hour, and this thing is pretty fast now, but it's
Wow.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Have they got
that-
the
that'd
battery?
be
Like,
creepy to see.
how far can this thing actually traverse?
God knows,
today?
don't ask questions that the military doesn't want to answer.
That
Come
is
on.
so
That's
cool.
how you get shot.
Look at all the fans that it has on it
Yeah,
to keep it cool.
of
It
course,
is
yeah.
probably designed to work in Afghanistan. In all fairness.
Oh yeah, you
So
can
it's following this
you
guy
can
around.
shoot it with a Desert Eagle, and you ain't gonna take the sucker down. All these gun control nuts who think that the government is gonna be stopped. Hell no, baby. Hell no.
Hold on. I think everyone should be given the right to own thermonuclear weaponry, and that's about it.
Hey, if you have $1 billion, you can buy one of these, no problem. I'm sure they'll. I'm sure they'll.
Note to self: find a billionaire.
Now, the fun thing is about this stuff. This is military stuff right now, and in a year it'll have automatic guns and all that fun stuff. It'll kill 100,000 people.
Oil slick, smoke screen.
Man,
in 2 or 3 years, it'll be a dog that follows us around and serves us. You know, I mean, at Facebook, I saw Neil Kennedy is training a dog to, help out blind people and stuff like that. This thing, if you can mass produce this and make it quiet and make it smaller, which will happen in 10 years.
R2 dog too.
Along with Windows 8. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll run on Windows 8. It'll crash.
Exactly.
It'll fall over. And then it'll get up.
All right, guys. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining. I just want to leave you with this impression. Thank you. Later, folks.
What app is that? Come on.
That's Bigger Words. I helped co-develop it.
Bigger Words.
Bigger Words.
Okay, thank you.
Is that like the sequel to Big Words?
It's Big Words.
I don't know.
Anyway, later.
Sam,
Thank you.
Take care, Sam.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You're Jewish, right?
It's Christmaka. Christmaka. So
Shalom.
I celebrate Christmas when you give me gifts.
Okay, Merry Christmas, Sam and Robert. Peace out. Get drunk on New Year's Eve and go out and get party and get drunk and do whatever you want.
We're already drunk.
I'm not drunk.
We haven't even gotten through the whole bottle of wine yet.
Before you go.
All right, so Christmaka.
Chug.
Give me the bottle.
Brian, Booher.
There we go.
I can't be drunk. I got to drive.
Sam, you got to get him the breathalyzer app.
Well, then go get that dog to carry you home.
They have a breathalyzer?
Get out of the bottle.
Come on.
I'm coming over for Christmas anyway.
Brian, get a book.
Arduinos have a breathalyzer.
You're all allowed to buy me
Breathalyzer Arduino.
on Facebook. Facebook.com/.
No. You were saying earlier those all have to go to charity, Robert.
Hey, Robert Scoville, you got an Amazon wish list?
I'm going to eat all your chocolates and drink all your wine if you buy me gifts.
That's not as good as
I don't trust Amazon that much.
Amazon.
I mean, Facebook.
All right, so since we're on Facebook, it's Sammy. You can leave anytime.
Oh yeah, he'll keep talking through the night.
I will, because I have a half bottle of wine here. I don't need to quit.
Hey Brad, nice seeing you again, and Adam. G'day, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Anyways,
that was the worst accent.
Facebook gifts. Go to facebook.com/gifts and buy me anything. I will not use it. I'll trade it.
Real or virtual?
I'll buy you some VB beer.
Now's the time to stop broadcasting.
I'll buy you some VB beer.
Oh, and Brad, you should be getting some cool stuff soon to
thanks, mate.
Thank you. Just hold tight. You'll get them.
Yeah, it's cool. No hurry, mate. No drama.
Thanks for joining us, and happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Have a good New Year. We'll see you next week after.
Bye.
I don't know what we're doing.
CS.
No, that's in January.
Yeah. Well, we'll do one right before we leave.
If we survive to January, we will see you in our Ford.
With C-Max hybrid
car, and we'll compare it to our Prius. Should we take our Prius too and just race it?
No.
I want to race it on Highway 5.
Silly.
Come on, man. 120 miles an hour. Who's going to go faster?
Yeah, see ya. G'day.
See you, man. See you, everybody.
You calling it, Robert?
Thanks. Have a good day.
Good show.
Have a good weekend. We're going to drink some more wine. See you later.
Go get fish nugget.
Let's bless